Recently, a team of nonprofits, a local farming family, government agencies, and a private foundation came together with one goal in mind: to find a way to help save our disappearing Louisiana farmlands. Our Louisiana coastline disappears by the day, but we are also losing acres of farmland each year, and with it, our Louisiana way of life. One Louisiana crop that has a long history linked to our culture, economy, wildlife, and heritage is rice. But our rice farms are at risk. Farming is hard work, and the costs to farm rice are mounting. Our team poured all of their energies into activating a farm program that has never before been used in Louisiana, but that could potentially keep farmers across the state on their farms: the Agricultural Land Easement, or ALE Program. Who was the family that decided to take a chance and lead the way? The Godshaw family of Live Oak Farm in Vermillion Parish.
I'm Charles Payne, grandson of Charles Godshaw. He and his brother Frank Godshaw were the ones that taught us the love of this land. Growing rice is a tough business, and a lot of people have chosen to go other directions with their land, especially in South Vermillion Parish, where we've dealt with these storms year in, year out. So you've seen a lot of these traditional rice farms converting to sugarcane or, sadly, housing developments.
Hi, my name is Kane Webb. I'm Director of Field Services for USA Rice. Cooking and eating is just part of our culture in South Louisiana, and rice is the perfect fit. You can't have gumbo without rice, you can't have crawfish etouffee without rice, jambalaya. So it's just a natural fit to be grown in this region. Louisiana is the third leading rice producer in the country, but farmers are struggling to make ends meet. With inflation, they have increased costs for inputs like fertilizer and fuel. There's always disease to worry about. Global competition impacts demands, and of course there are storms and hurricanes.
We originally met with the Conservation Fund at the beginning of this process and engaged with them on the idea, and they began to take steps in introducing us to the right people in the process with NRCS and then with the Land Trust. I think it's really been a team effort to be able to protect this land, and hopefully other farmers can do the same. We're going to preserve some of these farmlands for eternity.
Hi, I'm Sarah Howard with the Conservation Fund. I have worked hand in hand with the Godshaw family, helping them implement the ALE process. They have been implementing best management practices on the farm for decades. So the family gets conservation and what the ALE program is all about.
Hi, I'm Tim Landreneau, Assistant State Conservationist for easement programs with NRCS in Louisiana. In order to be considered for the ALE program, there is eligibility criteria that must be met for both the landowner and the land, such as adjusted gross income eligibility and highly erodible land and wetland compliance. The land must also meet land type criteria, such as having prime farmland soils. Additionally, the landowner must work with an eligible entity, like the Land Trust in this case, to file an application and work through the enrollment process. Through the ALE program, NRCS will pay for up to half of the easement value.
We're excited to work with Live Oak through the ALE program to help keep them farming. Hi, I'm Cindy Brown. I'm the Executive Director for the Land Trust for Louisiana. We're part of the team working with Charles and his family. We're stewards of the easement, working with the Godshaws and all future owners of the property.
One of the biggest issues facing this project was a lack of dedicated local funds to access the ALE monies, which require a non-federal one-to-one match. Luckily, we were able to bring in our partners at the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation, who provided us with that critical non-federal match.
These fields are sanctuaries for birds and provide thriving habitats for other wildlife. These are the precious resources ALE seeks to protect, and Live Oak Farm is doing a great job managing for wildlife.
Well, I think one of the things that makes Live Oak such a special place is the amount of different ecosystems we have in one place. There's different parts of the property that are obviously tillable ground that is farming land, but there's a lot of other parts of the property too that are pretty special. We have almost 1,000 acres of live oak hardwoods that are contiguous and support any number of wildlife, from deer and unfortunately pigs and squirrels and everything else that might be in those woods, as well as the birds that benefit the different times of year as they come through. And the mast production from the acorns supports any number of birds and animals. So that's a really unique ecosystem. And then if you follow those woods all the way to the north end of the property, we have more of a cypress swamp area, and that supports its own unique set of wildlife and birds. And then other parts of the property are different stages of marsh, from permanent reservoir, open water marsh, to marshes that we control the water levels in and drain them every summer, to kind of pasture that is being converted back into marsh. And all of them have their own benefits for their own ecosystems. So it's a special place.
My name is Melanie Driscoll. I'm an ornithologist for the Land Trust for Louisiana. The importance of rice fields for coastal birds cannot be overstated. Especially with coastal land loss, these rice farms provide a safety net for many wetland-dependent birds. So during our recent Christmas bird count on Live Oak Farm, we counted 94 species of birds. We cited a variety of waterfowl, shorebirds, wading birds, raptors, songbirds, and 4 species of owls. Special sightings included loggerhead shrikes, a vermilion flycatcher, and many northern harriers floating over the fields hunting.
As soon as we started being more efficient with water control in the 1980s, we basically started maintaining the topsoil and stopped letting it wash out. By managing the water, we were able to provide a great wetland habitat for the birds.
There's a plethora of birds that find the rice fields a fun place to be throughout the year. From right now, when we're harvesting it, you see them out there chasing the insects in front of the combine, to the rails running out from the cover, to later on when the ducks and the geese come in, and then later on in the spring after that when the shorebirds and the wading birds come through. All the while you have the eagles that hunt the rice fields for the ducks. It's a pretty amazing ecosystem when you get to watch it over a long period of time. I've had people ask me questions about, did we give our land away, or did we donate the land? And that's not the way this works. It's important for people to understand that when you do this, you still own your land and you still have the ability to sell that land. But if you're a farmer and that's what you want to do the rest of your life, you're only protecting your livelihood.
Going onto Live Oak Farm for the first time is an amazing experience. You're surrounded by its namesake. All the live oaks overhang the road. Then you go out onto the property and see vast rice fields and wetlands. You just know immediately that this is an important place in Louisiana.
From an early age, my grandfather would bring me out here and take me fishing, with a cane pole in a canal. And I can remember being not much older than 5 or 6 years old and doing that with him. So for as long as I can remember, really, it's been a big part of my life.
Saving the family farm isn't just about the crops, it's also about family.
Our hope is that with this first ALE project under our belt, we'll be able to help farmers keep their farms. Of course, with matching funds, this becomes possible. Projects like Live Oak Farm can be replicated across the landscape. These rice farms are so incredibly important to us, especially along Louisiana's coast, where we're losing wetlands, we're losing bird habitat, and we simply can't do conservation fast enough. If we were able to access these funds, we'd be able to access millions and millions of dollars in federal funds to conserve land, to provide for wildlife habitat, to boost up our local economies, and to help farmers.
In today's world, things change day to day and week to week, but I think part of the reason that this project has kind of gotten our attention so much is that it allows us a way to to hold on to this place and to protect it, and to make sure that it's there for the next generations.